The sweetest, prettiest fruits in your grocery store may be the most nutritionally empty ones you're eating. No seeds, no mess, no bitterness, but also no warning label. Seedless grapes, seedless watermelon, seedless oranges, perfect bananas with no hard bits, no surprises, no inconvenience. They look like nature upgraded itself. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Nature didn't design fruit for humans. It designed fruit to survive. And when we removed the seeds, we didn't just remove inconvenience. We removed something vital. Today, we're uncovering a hidden food truth most people never talk about. How seedless fruits may be quietly killing nutrition you don't even realize you're missing. And by the end of this video, you might never see fruit the same way again. The moment fruit stopped being natural. For thousands of years, fruit was unpredictable. It was bitter, uneven, full of hard seeds, sometimes sour, sometimes barely sweet. And yet, those fruits were nutritional powerhouses. Then humans stepped in. Over generations, we selectively bred fruits, not to be healthier, but to be sweeter, softer. Easier to eat, easier to ship. Easier to sell. Seeds were the first thing to go. Why? Because seeds slow consumption. They remind you food came from a plant, not a package. And in a world obsessed with convenience, anything that slows eating disappears. Seeds aren't trash. They're the brain of the fruit. Here's what almost no nutrition label tells you. Seeds are where plants store survival intelligence. Inside seeds, you'll often find concentrated antioxidants, polyphenols linked to longevity, healthy fats, minerals like magnesium, zinc, and iron, protective compounds plants use against stress. Take grapes. The most powerful antioxidants in grapes, proanthocyanidins, are concentrated in the seeds. These compounds are linked to reduced inflammation, heart health, cellular protection, anti-aging effects. Now, compare. Seeded grapes, slight bitterness, deeper flavor, higher antioxidant density. Seedless grapes, sweeter, juicier, easier, but missing the strongest protective compounds. We didn't just remove seeds, we removed the plant's defense system. And plants without defenses don't need to produce as many protective nutrients, which just happens to be what benefits humans the most. Sweetness went up. Nutrition went quietly. Down here's a pattern repeated across almost every seedless fruit. As seeds disappear, sugar content increases, fiber density decreases, bitter phytonutrients vanish, glycemic impact rises. Why does this happen? Because bitterness exists to protect seeds. No seed equals no reason for bitterness. Modern breeding favors instant sweetness, uniform texture, soft flesh. That's great for sales, terrible for metabolic health. Some seedless fruits now spike blood sugar closer to dessert than to traditional fruit, especially when eaten alone. You're not eating candy, but you're also not eating what fruit used to be. The watermelon lie. Let's talk about one of the most iconic seedless fruits on earth, watermelon. Original watermelons were pale or yellow inside, packed with large black seeds, less sweet, higher in micronutrients. Modern seedless watermelon. Extremely sweet, bright red, mostly water and sugar. Yes, it still contains vitamin C and lycopene, but studies show seeded varieties often have higher overall antioxidant activity. And those black seeds people used to spit out? They contain magnesium, healthy fats, iron, protein. We trained ourselves to hate the most nourishing part. That's not evolution. That's conditioning. Bananas, the clone food. Nobody questions. Bananas feel natural. They're soft. They're familiar. They're seedless. But here's the shocking truth. Modern bananas are clones. They are genetically identical. Every banana you eat is essentially the same plant, copied over and over again. Why does this matter? Because bananas used to have more fiber, more resistant starch, less sugar. Today's bananas are bred for sweetness, soft texture, predictable ripening, which means faster digestion, sharper blood sugar spikes. Less satiety, bananas aren't bad food, but they are dramatically different from what humans evolved eating. And because they're cloned, they're also vulnerable to disease. One reason entire banana species have already gone extinct. Nutrition and biodiversity are connected. When one collapses, the other follows. Why wild and ugly fruits always win? Here's something most street food cultures understand instinctively. In places like India, Africa, Southeast Asia, Latin America, seeded fruits are still common. They spoil faster, look uneven, taste more complex, have seeds people chew or spit, and nutritionally, they often outperform supermarket fruit by a wide margin. Wild berries, for example, contain more antioxidants, more fiber, more defensive compounds. Why? Because stress creates nutrition. Plants under pressure produce protective chemicals. Plants bred for comfort produce sugar. That's why wild blueberries crush cultivated ones nutritionally, even though they're smaller and less sweet. Myth versus reality. What we've been told. Let's break some food myths. Myth. Seedless fruit is healthier because it's easier to digest. Reality. Easier digestion often means faster sugar absorption. Myth. Seeds are useless waste. Reality. Seeds contain some of the most bioactive plant compounds. Myth. Sweeter fruit is better fruit. Reality. Sweetness often replaces fiber and phytochemicals. The biggest myth? That convenience equals improvement. Why this is never talked about. So why isn't this discussed on food packaging or in mainstream nutrition advice? Because seedless fruit sells better, consumers complain less. Shelf life increases. Transport becomes cheaper. Nutrition doesn't drive the food system. Logistics do. Once seedless varieties dominate, seeded versions disappear entirely, taking genetic diversity, flavor complexity, nutritional depth. This isn't a conspiracy, it's economics reshaping biology. Are seedless fruits dangerous? Let's be very clear. Seedless fruits are not poison. They're still better than processed snacks. But they are incomplete versions of what fruit once was. If fruit is your primary health food, but it's mostly sugar and water, you might believe you're eating clean while quietly missing compounds linked to longevity, gut health, and disease prevention. That's the invisible nutrition gap. How smart eaters fix the problem. You don't need to quit seedless fruit forever. But balance matters. Here's what nutrition-aware eaters do. Rotate fruit varieties, eat berries with seeds intact, stop fearing bitterness, choose diversity over perfection. Occasionally eat ugly fruit. Even small changes increase micronutrient exposure. Nature thrives on diversity. So does your gut microbiome. This isn't just about fruit. Seedless fruit is a symbol. It represents a larger shift in modern food. Appearance over substance, convenience over resilience, sweetness over nourishment. Food is becoming easier to eat, but less meaningful to the body. The danger isn't one banana or one grape. It's a diet built entirely on stripped-down versions of natural foods. Next time you see a flawless, glossy, seedless fruit, enjoy it. But remember, what's missing is often more important than what's visible. Sometimes the most powerful nutrition hides in the parts we were taught to throw away. If this video made you rethink what's on your plate, hit like, subscribe for more food truths you won't hear anywhere else, and comment below. Would you choose convenience, or are you ready to bring imperfect foods back into your life? Because the real superfoods were never meant to be perfect.